For anyone who has been reading this, I am alive and well, but far from safe. As my neighbor and I were waiting for the coast to be clear, I saw my garage door open at approximately 3:27 a.m., and right then, my neighbor and I booked into his car, and we were leaving and I saw the light turn on in my bathroom. I nearly threw up realizing how easily he got in and how I'd just been sitting duck an hour prior. I'd been fantasizing over and over of how if I stayed in there, my neighbors would have been calling me and telling me he was in my driveway, and I would have heard my garage door opening with dread just knowing I would have been absolutely screwed. Once we were in the car, we sped off to the police station. Police gave me the usual rundown of questions in this type of situation, like whether I knew this man, when and where my first encounter with him was, and whether I could identify his car or if I managed to write down his license plate. I told them he had only come 2 times prior, and that both times it was too dark to even tell with the streetlight. When the man had parked in my driveway with one of the neighbors who had still been on the lookout, said she saw the car was a gray Volkswagen with no license plate. She went on to say she saw the man type in the code to my garage, go inside, turn on each of my lights, as though he was checking the whole house. The man had stayed there for 5 minutes, according to her, and proceeded to get back in his car without taking anything, and sped off down my street. She notified the police immediately, and they had been searching for him since then. Nothing has come up. We returned to find that the house had nothing left relatively unscathed. The police did not find even a trace of DNA. Whoever this man was, he was meticulous as hell, and somehow he gained the knowledge of what my garage code was. It makes me shiver to think that he may have been watching me, even as I typed it in earlier this week. God only knows what other knowledge he has to track me down. My parents have still yet to return home from their trip, as their plane was delayed. So as of right now, I am alone, and still at the hotel with only a bottle of Jack Daniels to console me. A couple police cars have been stationed around the area of my house, looking for the guy, and they were all waiting upon his arrival. I am not leaving this hotel until this fucker is caught. I don't think I'll even be able to sleep tonight. I'm really hoping this is the night he finally can't track me. The police had advised me to stop using any form of social media that can be indicated of where I am. That means no Snapchat, no Instagram, no Facebook. Nothing. They told me that I can use my laptop as long as I remain as low profile as possible. This means all I can do now is wait for the police to call me and tell me that the stalker has been caught. Now I'm going to try and figure out just who this guy is and why he might be stalking me. Theory 1. My 9th grade Italian teacher. So I went to a private school, and this teacher has basically been one of the biggest lunatics I've ever met in the school system. He was very outspoken in a way he described politics, and very mean-spirited during his teaching. He would always make fun of students, had sometimes falling asleep in class, and would always make perverted comments towards girls I knew. So one day, I decided to write an email to the dean asking him to please fire the man from his teaching position and explaining the unacceptable behavior he had while working. It worked, and I have never seen the man since. Now, the reason I think he could be a possibility is because he never particularly liked me. In fact, I feel as though he singled me out in a lot of instances and picked on me. I don't know if he ever found out I sent the email, but if he did, I'm extremely worried. I can't tell if it was him or not when he spoke in my backyard, as I was full of adrenaline mode while I was screaming at him. I would say this is not likely a suspect, but I'm not sure. Theory 2. My Christian decon from back in 2nd grade. I used to be part of this church program a while back when I was in elementary school. And of all the head figures, there was always one that stood out to me. Deacon Anthony. He was a middle-aged man, very soft-spoken, and he had always been very particularly nice to me and my friend Kevin. He would often bring us candy, talk to us about our home life, and treated us more fairly than the rest of the kids. One day, my friend Kevin had told me that Deacon Anthony had asked Kevin if he wanted to go home with him to hang out. Kevin said no to him and told me. I told my parents about this, and they immediately contacted the church and told them about it. After that, I never saw Deacon Anthony again. My parents later told me that they had contacted the board, and he was removed from the church. If this is the guy, he must have had a passive personality shift after that incident, because the way the man happily told me to have a nice day did not match up with the one he had when I was younger. Theory 3. My classmate Derek from 8th grade. Derek was one of those insecure types who would always get off with making other people feel small. He was your standard 8th grade middle schooler shit-eater who deserved nothing but a good ass-whooping, which unfortunately never came. However, what did happen was they started a rumor about him that I wished to not bring up. But he pretty much ruined his reputation and made him a laughingstock. He never found out it was me, as far as I could tell. But from what I heard from my hometown while I was off to public school, is that our local public high school, the rumor hadn't stopped, and that he turned into one of those quiet kids who never talked. Keep in mind, this kid literally had my whole friend group to stop hanging out with me. So as far as I could tell, this revenge was extremely justified in my mind. This may in fact be the prime suspect for who will most likely know where I live. I tried finding any sort of social media about him, but nothing came up. This guy is a ghost, and I have no idea what he has been up to. Theory 4. Some complete stranger who I have no association with. Maybe this is just a genuine old school stalker who takes pride in picking out their prey from a random crowd. No one I have seen in this town for a past week has seemed particularly odd. The only one that comes to mind was this weird cashier at 7-Eleven, who just seemed particularly in love with his job. He may have some form of Asperger's syndrome, or maybe he just takes pride in being a cashier, but he was always very polite with his customers when he had been interacting with them. I had gone in to get a soda from the fountain, and the store was empty, and he asked me, "Hey, is this all you're getting?" I said, "Yeah, this is all." So he continues, "Oh, well, congratulations, it's free." I thought, sweet, a free soda. This guy is the shit. I thanked him a ton and was smoking a cigarette outside, and I said, "Have a good one," and left. Now I know what you all must be thinking. This is definitely the guy. He's a fucking cashier, for crying out loud. Well, I am just not sure. This guy was probably in his 30s, seemed extremely grateful for his low-end job, and just seemed content with what he had. He didn't strike me as a stalker, but then again, I hadn't been back to the store since, so he maybe still be there, or not at all. Time will tell. I might have to stop by tomorrow and do a little more investigating. As we speak, it's 11 p.m. again, and I am staring at my hotel window scrolling through Reddit. I'm still dreading the moment I see a car flashing high beams pull into the parking lot, so I'll probably just be looking out my window all night again. I will post more updates if necessary. 12:43 a.m. I'm reading your comments, and just so you guys know, I can't get a hold of a gun as easily as most of you think. I live in a state where that doesn't really fly. The best thing I have right now is pepper spray and a baseball bat. 1:37 a.m. Call me a lunatic, but I left my room to get some fresh air. I couldn't stand being in this small-ass hotel room for one more second. I was bugging out like crazy, though. Every person I saw seemed like a threat to me. I started talking with this one guy in the hotel lobby. Says he'd been traveling from state on some sort of self-indulged journey across the country. I asked him if he has any experience with stalkers, and he told me that he's been receiving anonymous calls a couple years back from some guy. I asked if he's ever encountered one in his backyard, or anything, and he just looked at me funny. I explained to him the situation, and he wished me the best of luck. Nothing out of the ordinary, but it was nice to see some real human interaction while I was losing my mind. 1:46 a.m. Alright, one of the janitors must be screwing with me. I spent the last 10 minutes searching for my phone and asked someone outside my room to call for me. I listened to the ringing, and it's in the fucking safe, and the password is not the one they gave me. What the fuck? This is ridiculous. Whoever did this is going to get torn a new one. I'm going to get the manager right now to get this sorted out. 2:08 a.m. I'm demanding a different room. I am not staying in that same room one more second. The whole staff is in there now trying to figure out the safe password. Meanwhile, the manager is looking for the janitors who had been in my room to ask what the fuck they were thinking. I'm tired, I'm worried, and now I just lost my phone. Fuck. 2:24 a.m. It's not the garage code, guys. I checked. Even if it was, why would it be? And how would the fucking stalker even get in my hotel room, let alone rewire my safe? 2:26 a.m. I'm not leaving the hotel. I already paid the money to stay here. I don't have any other place to go. That's not 100 miles away. I have no car. I got here in an Uber car. And at least here there's over 100 people staying here. The stalker's not going to come into a hotel full of people. 2:40 a.m. I'm sitting in my hotel room, all alone with no phone, no way to call an Uber, no way to call the police. I'm starting to think one of the janitors got bribed to do this. I now not only have no way of driving from here, but I have no way on contacting any family or anyone for that matter, of getting me away from the hotel. I'm going to wait another 45 minutes, and if they don't open the safe, I'm demanding they call an Uber for me and driving me the hell out of here. Someone just knocked on the door saying the safe is open. I told them all right, and then they asked me to come get it. I asked them if they can slip it under the door, but they said I need to go get it myself. I told them I would in a couple minutes, and that he'd be waiting. I don't know what to do. 3:10 a.m. The man said that my phone is in the main lobby if I want it. I'm on my laptop next to my window, and I could have sworn out of the corner of my eye I saw a car flashing its high beams. I don't know if I should hold out till morning or get my phone and leave. 3:14 a.m. I'm not waiting until 3:24 for this guy to fucking come into my room and jump me. I am packing and getting the hell out of here. I'll keep you guys posted on mobile when I get my phone back. 3:16 p.m. Alright, I'm staying at a friend's place for right now. Just to clarify, when I said not a trace of DNA was found, I meant that there was nothing that was found to trace this guy back, like a glove or fingerprints on the garage keypad. The police did not do a full investigation, obviously. The guy still hasn't been found. The neighbors have told me no one has been back to my house, and my parents are currently staying at my aunt's down south. I got my phone back, and there was a missed call from some guy named Nick Sullivan. What's strange, his name was never put in my contacts. I've never met anyone named Nick Sullivan in my life, and I don't know how it was in there. I tried calling back, and it just went to voicemail. Creepy shit nonetheless. Maybe I'm just paranoid, I don't know. I'll see if I can make another update tonight. Bye for now.